for District D. I am also a parent of 3 students who have either gone to or are currently going to Douglas County Public Schools. I have a 6th grader at Larkspur Elementary. I have a sophomore at Castleview High School. I have a son who graduated as a junior last year from Castleview High School. He also was just recently named a National Merit on my finalist. I've been very involved in all of my children's education for about 15 years before they were even in school. When they were in preschool, I was on a board to help support their education. I believe that we as parents must be involved in our children's education. It's one of the most important things that we do. Along with that, I have been involved in the parent-teacher organizations. I have been on all of the school accountability committees. I have also started 2 parent organizations at the middle school and high school level to engage parents in their children's education. Something I think you all talk about and we all talk about is lacking. We need parents, we need educators, we need students all to come together to be effective. So I have done that. I've seen day to day what it takes to work in a classroom and what it takes to make change work in a classroom. And I'm not seeing that. And I'll get to that in a second. But my professional background is I was a CPA. I'm not currently practicing, but I used to audit schools. So I can look at that comprehensive annual financial report and see all kinds of things in there that maybe most people can't see. I have a lot of information that I would like to share with the school district on how to cut funds, how to move funds down to the classroom. We currently spend only 52% on average of the per pupil revenue that we get from the school district, from the state. We spend only 52% down in our schools of the per pupil revenue. That's not okay in the site-based budget where they're telling you we want to give teachers and principals the flexibility to be positive and strong in their own schools to make local decisions. I totally support that. I believe site-based budgets are critical to success, to local success. However, when you do not fund them accordingly, you're throwing your principals, your teachers, and your students under the bus, and that's what we've been doing for a long time. So that's probably my number 1 issue is that I believe actually in a lot of the reform efforts that we've talked about. I think that they're very interesting, but I think one of the biggest issues is that we haven't implemented anything. Please take time to ask a parent, a student, or a teacher what it's really like in the classroom. Is there any positive change happening? The answer will likely be no. Is there any real effective change happening? No. What I'm seeing is my choice is being taken away. My child at Larkspur Elementary is now in a niche school where she has to spend 80% of her time outdoors so that she can do environmental learning. She's about this big around. We live on a ranch in Larkspur. We raise cattle. She doesn't need to be outside during the day in school. But that's what now all the students have to do under the reform efforts. That's not okay with me. My choice was taken away. My child's choice was taken away. So I believe that I can, based on my background, so I was a CPA, I was a finance director of a $2 billion agency that I had a clean audit opinion in for the first time in the agency, so I know how to be fiscally responsible. And I believe in implementation. Rick Hess talked about the most interesting county in Douglas County, but he also talks about the missing half of school reform, which is implementation, and when school reform falls flat. And I think that's exactly what's happened in Douglas County, and I plan to change it. Thank you. Meghann, our last one.
Good evening, everybody. It's great to see you guys here. I come here fairly often, so it's nice to be back in Franktown. I live right up here in Parker. My husband Jeff and Jeff is actually back here, so I'm really glad he's here tonight. He's been a really great supporter of mine. We've lived in Douglas County in our 8th year now, so we love Douglas County. I'm a Colorado native. I was born at Fitzsimmons. My father was in the U.S. Army. And so my background was I was raised overseas. For the most part, I've attended school both here in the United States and overseas, and I learned a lot of great lessons with education. My family background is really diverse, I guess. My grandfather was an immigrant, and he was brought over here when he was a few days old. The family had nothing. They had nothing, and they came here wanting to make a better life for themselves, and they did. My grandfather didn't make it to finish school, but he served in the U.S. military in World War II, and he became a great patriot. And so my father was able to graduate high school and join the military, and so I'm the first in the family to graduate college. I believe in the power of education. I think that what the American education system has provided hope to so many people. I think it's great. So I have served as your school board director for the last 4 years. I think that we've done a lot of positive things. And I've been telling you about those during the 4 years that I've been here. So I know a lot of you know some of the things that are going on. You know, you've heard a little bit about fiscal management. You've heard about choices in the classroom. We've made some great changes to the things that are going on. We've added choices for children. We've changed the way that the budget is run. When we first came into the district, there was a lot of financial problems. As Judi said, we were in dire fiscal straits. We had no reserve funded with cash, and we had no other reserve to speak of. Colorado state law requires that we have a reserve. And so we funded that in cash, got rid of the letter of credit that was costing you $160,000 a year, and we built a reserve of $18 million so we don't have to reach back in the classroom. From last year to this year, we have spent $20 million more back into the classroom than we did the year before. We think that is an incredible accomplishment. So more proportion of dollars is going back to the classroom. So that has been a tremendous accomplishment. We've given students more choices, and we've been able to commit to providing students the opportunity to take as many classes as they want. So for as far as the roving bands of teenagers at King Soopers, I know there are folks that maybe are concerned about that. I believe that our students are generally responsible. What I would like to do is give people choices as to whether they want to take a full load of classes or not, and this year the district has committed to doing that. So I'm really looking forward to this evening to talk about all these other issues that you may have questions about. Thank you again for coming, Meghann Silverthorn.